And two issues, of course, we're talking about tonight. First one we disposed of already, the zoning, making it a quicker process for small projects, leaving the big ones alone. And now we'll be talking about Bill 274-32. This is, again, creating a state preschool program and to adjust the compulsory age for school attendance and to establish the preschool day and year, partnering the child care centers to provide high quality preschool. This is, I guess, known as, was it universal preschool? Yeah? Okay, yeah. So tell us about it. I think it's a great idea. I mean, and I know, I mean, it's great because, you know, you have some of your colleagues that are pushing, let's build prisons because we're loaded, we're jam-packed in the back end, and you're saying, hey, yeah, but let's take care of the front end of the house, and that's exactly what you're doing, right?
Thank you, Senator. And so particularly Senator McCready, who I really appreciate his attention to behavior that will not be tolerated. And so as he started, I mean, every day he comes up with another bill that addresses stiffening the penalties for crime. And when he first approached me about the penitentiary, you know, I just looked at him and I said, you know, I'll support you in this endeavor, but I ask you to really think about supporting me in the prevention aspect. And that is helping our children from the very beginning to know how to be, to help parents and teachers form those minds, which in the first 8 years is really where it happens. And so right now the compulsory age starts at age 5. We want to shift it to age 4. We want to partner with our care centers. When this first came out, we had a very healthy meeting with them, and they were very frank. And they said, if you make it compulsory age 4 in our public schools, you'll shut us down. And so I listened to them, and they were right, because the bulk of their children are preschoolers. And so we drilled the data deeper, and we found that across most of our states that have state preschool, they have actually formulated partnerships with their care centers. And so when I put that on the table for our care directors here, they really liked it. What that would mean, they're all licensed, because you have to be licensed to operate. But what that would mean is they would have to meet certain standards. And if they meet certain standards, such as ensuring that their folks are degreed.
And you guys have moved on that to professionalize again their total staff, yeah?
Yes, we have. And last year we finally updated the rules and regulations for care centers after 30 years. And so they looked at me, they said, you know, first we did this, and, you know, some businesses shut down, and you know, and I said, yes, I understand. Maybe some businesses should shut down. The standards need to be met. Our children are just really important. So if they meet certain standards like home visits, the degrees, which right now we have 40 centers, 61% of them already meet those requirements. So, you know, they're working on it.
That's a great percentage.
It's wonderful. We would outsource food for them because they don't, most of them, the families bring the nutrition in, and it's not really nutritious. And so we would outsource and have some healthy food brought in, and we would subsidize. So that's what's on the table. We do all of this, then for every 4-year-old we'd agree on a certain amount, and that's the money you would get as long as you're monitored and you meet these regs. That way too, Senator, it would alleviate some of the concern about resources in our school system. While people tell me there's no rooms in our schools, I disagree with that, with respect, because when I was there, we had 35,000 children, and we had perhaps 5 less schools. Today, we have 5 more schools and we have 31,000 kids. So and our birth rate's the same. So it's not that we're not having the same amount of children, is they're going somewhere else. Charter school, private school, homeschool. So there are rooms there, and they've admitted to me that a lot of the rooms are being used for storage. Now, all the principals I've talked to are very excited. They're like, we'll phase it in. So this bill, what it'll do is for the first year, for next year, if it gets passed, and if it's signed into law, and the governor has told me that he supports early investment, it would be a planning year, so it won't happen next year. But then after that, the remaining 4 years, we'd phase it in. So in 5 years, the compulsory age would become 4. And that's important because the earlier the better, but also so that we can take advantage of some federal monies. If it's compulsory, then that's where we can.
Now, let me ask you this: when you're talking compulsory, okay, when you compulsory age, that means the compulsory age for kids to start school will now be 4. Okay. Now you're talking about public school, but if a compulsory age for kids to start school is 4 years old, I mean, I'm sure the private schools probably will implement this too, because they have a compulsory age start, and they'll have to meet standards as well, and they have their accreditation process that they have to go through as well. So how have they reacted? I mean, they're private entity, they're private schools. How have they reacted to their introduction to this business?
They've come to the meetings, and they're very interested, and of course they have very good reputations. So whether they get support or not, it seems to be irrelevant to them.
Sure.
And what I've reminded the group is that all the schools, from St. John's to Harvest to Mercy Heights,
no, they have that.
they all do. Mount Carmel, it's
sure,
already there.
Sure, it's already there. Yeah,
it's us.
Yeah,
and so I said to the group, we shall learn from our private partners again, right? And so it was a very dynamic conversation, and for me, very hopeful.
Sure.
I think, Senator, our parents of today really need help. I think raising children today in this millennium is a huge challenge. 50% of us are single parents, and it's just, it's hard. And so I think if we were able to get that kind of partnership in place for our families, we can help our families know how to raise kids for today. It's just a different, even schools have to shift, the technology aspect of it. And so this all goes for me to preparation, teacher prep. So we have been talking with GCC and UOG, and Mary Okada is very excited, full on board. John Sanchez, the Dean of School of Ed, is at the table and is on board. And so all of that training, we've had private companies contact us and say, when you're ready, we would like to put in a bid and become, trainers. And so I just think it's really hopeful. The other thing that I really like about this is the fact that if we partner with our care centers out there, they would be required to be trained for and then work with the young kids with disabilities. Because right now it's real hard to find a center that will accept somebody with autism or accept somebody with who's Down syndrome. It's just they're not trained, so they're very hesitant. Sure. But if they say they want to do this and they get that training, then that opens up more opportunity for those of us who need that kind of help.
Well, that's great. I mean, fantastic. I know it's not. I mean, you've had a public hearing on this already.
Yes.
When do you anticipate? I know you sit in that committee. I'm sure was referred to
Education.
As Senator or Speaker Wampat's committee. When do you anticipate this going up for?
Well, now the issue is funding, and so we were in a budget cycle. So the concern is, Madam Speaker's concern is, DOE has plenty mandates in front of them. Now, if this is another mandate, how are we balancing all of this out? So the conversations continue. I hope to make a compelling case that early education is very important and critical to everything else that's happening on our island. The crime is horrible here. The suicide rate is horrible here. And so if we do it right early on, we can curtail some of the welfare rates. All of those issues are tied directly to what happens in the first 8 years of a child's life. I know Speaker Ben's going to be very concerned about the budget. How are you going to be able to fund everything? And so if I can tell them that for the first year, it's planning. There's no programming, but it's a lot of meeting and planning. And then after that is when we're going to have to find the money. Now, Governor Calvo has said that he's identified $4 million. And so that would be used for the second, third, fourth year, right? And it's mostly teachers. And teachers stop me at Cost You Less or any of the stores, and they're like, "Oh, we can hardly wait." They're very excited.
So basically, and I'm running out of time here, but so basically, at least when they first implemented the first 4 years, it's probably a budget at $4 million. Now, what sustaining after that? What do you foresee that to be a sustainable yearly budget for the implementation?
DOE is telling us $9 million.
$9 million on an annual basis.
Yeah.
After the implementation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm looking at some numbers because I'm not sure how that translates, into $9 million. I'm not sure that, it
doubled.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it happened. So we're really
how
studying.
How it mutated.
Right. So we're really studying that, right? But that's the number they put at the test. And then to make it real clear, Joe Sanchez is the curriculum chief, is in full support. Eloise Sanchez and Kathy Schrader, Head Start, and Kathy Tidinko. That's the circle of leadership. But they were very honest in saying they weren't speaking for the superintendent. So I just want to put that on the table. So I'm not speaking for the superintendent. But we hope to move this. This is an important investment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and necessary one. We're going to take a quick break, and I think we only have time to say goodbye when we come back, so we'll be right back.